What's up, Causenetic family?
Welcome to the Causenetic Podcast.
Causenetic means been a person or thing that gives rise to a phenomenon that is dynamic or energized.
We're tackling topics and telling the truth.
Oh, yes, we are. And I'm Keith Vinson.
And I think I'm Rodrigua Ross today, because I don't know who you are.
Hey. And so today, we are talking about, our topic is today, what I like about being. And
apparently,
you fill in the blank.
Apparently, there was something you didn't like about doing a regular introduction, because why the change today, Keith?
There was no change. I'm just feeling the spirit right now. Because we're talking about the importance of self-identity.
Self-identity. Okay.
And so in the book of Psalms,
here we go.
David writes. Now, I know that everybody may not feel the same way or believe the same way, but I just want to share about the book of Psalms and David. And so in chapter 139, verses 13 and 14, Brother David says, "For it was you who created my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb." Can you just see the intricate detail in that right there? So I will praise you because I have been fearfully and wonderfully made. And we want to focus in right now on the fearfully and the wonderful.
Are you working on your second career?
Yeah, no.
Is this the collection portion of the service?
For me, this is so valuable because it's something that I hold on to, because I think if you can focus on just you, okay, and then it is like, how were you created? Because when we talk about the fearfully part, we're not talking about like being scared or anything like that. What we're talking about is this place of respect. And then we talk about wonderfully made. That is, you are very uniquely made. There's nobody else on this earth like you.
Or you, thank goodness.
Praise. There's only one of you. Because we gotta.
That's sad.
Because when we think about when individuals think about themselves, sometimes people don't feel themselves as whole. They look at themselves as less than, because maybe somebody has put something into their minds to be able to say, hey, you know what, you're not going to mount up to anything. I don't even know why you try this, why are you trying to do this, Ray? You're not going to achieve anything out of it.
Or even if they haven't heard those words, definitely through your lived experience or how you interact with certain systems, I could see would reinforce that message.
Right.
That messaging, absolutely.
Right.
Many people are getting, unfortunately, and many young people at that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I like this, because the thing I hold on to is that I have to hold on to this truth right here for me, because when you come up against those obstacles in life, you're going to think like, whoa, I'm lower than. And I don't think you need to get yourself to that place. Like, you got to be able to have that self-identity, be able to know who you are. And for some people, it's whose you are. Yeah. And I think that, we're challenged now. We're facing a lot of people with mental health right now. Yeah. And it's because some of it is, there's a medical situation that may be going on that needs to happen. But some of it is that the trauma that people have experienced because of words that people put out there. Yeah. People look at
images that they see, and you get standards, unrealistic standards. Yeah.
Systems sometimes, will say something different. For as an African American, when I go back to growing up in Dale's home, which was the projects. Now, I didn't know what the projects was. All it was my home back then. Right. And as I recall my situations throughout those 10 years that I was there, I had a great experience.
It was awesome, because you didn't know any different, huh? Right. But were there some subliminal messages that the world, right, was telling you, or that you were exposed to, that kind of made you question your importance and your self-identity?
Well, what I saw when I was coming up for those first 10 years was just grew up Black community in the projects. The school that I went to, I can only recall, but having Rhonda, she was in the second grade, and she was white. And I didn't know whether I could like Rhonda or not.
Oh, she probably was adorable.
And she was.
Oh.
But there was also a young lady named Diana Ross too. They're like not the Diana Ross, but it was that Diana Ross that, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And did you like her? Oh, I heard it in the cadence. I heard it.
But I mean, but identity-wise, my eyes were not open until I moved to my community of Western Branch, where that was predominantly white community.
Wow.
And, you know, I struggled because I didn't know how to act when I wouldn't know how to act. I didn't know how to react to what was going on because I had at 10 years old, like, boom, shift coast. So
a major shift.
Yeah, moved to the suburbs and like nobody's outside, you know, playing. Yeah. Nobody, you know, but here's what happened to me. I got out there and little kid called me the N-word.
Wow.
And like that rocked my world, you know.
Yeah. That's traumatizing for an adult. I can imagine as a kid.
And so you're out here like, who am I? What am I not supposed? Are we not supposed to be out? Why are we coming from the projects to the suburbs?
Yeah.
Like, am I not supposed to be in this space right here?
Yeah.
So you begin to question yourself.
Right. Am I not good enough to be out here?
Right. Because clearly I'm not quote unquote wanted out here because somebody's calling me the N-word for no reason. Like I don't get that part right there.
Yeah. You know, a similar growing up experience, growing up in Brooklyn, you know, I don't ever recall. I recall that my parents and surely my immediate family, aunts, uncles, cousins, they always did a great job at talking about how important we were. But that was definitely contrary to the messages that I was receiving in the world at large. And I remember there's this one instance in high school where I kept going to my guidance counselors starting from the 9th grade, because I knew in the 9th grade, I was like, I want to go to college. Although no one in my family had gone to college, no one in my circles, no one that I had personally known growing up, the extended family, friends, nobody in the community, no one I knew had gone to college. But it was just something in me that I was like, I want to go to college. I want to go to college. And I remember regularly going to my guidance counselors like, what do I need to do? Like, I don't know how to get there. I don't know what to do. There was no one for me to ask. And hearing from some of those guidance counselors, oh, well, just make it to your junior year and we'll talk about it then. Or, you know, you could probably stay home so that if you have to take care of your kids or when you have to take care of your kids, you can stay at home and go. Like all of these assumptions about shortcomings that I was going to have that I didn't have. Like, and it's like, oh, well, you know, in order to get into college, you're going to have to write an essay. Okay. Oh, you know, in college, it's a lot of reading involved. Okay, right? So all of those subliminal messages really did. And when I did get to college, I struggled my freshman year because all of that self-identity, imposter syndrome stuff kicked into high gear. I was like, why am I here? Nobody else in my family or my community or my friends made it here. Maybe this is not the place for me. What makes me so different? I don't think I can keep up with these young people who are coming to this school who generationally, parents and grandparents, they all went to this school and everybody has a degree. And they came freshman year with their fresh new cars and this whole practice of regularly talking about what you like about yourself, what you know to be your personal value proposition, right? Your importance in the world. I think it is game changing. I didn't learn that and that importance of that well into adulthood, and was intentional about doing that with my kids, so much so that can't nobody tell my babies. And I've tried too. I try to tell my son, you're not that cute. He'll be like, Mom, you're not telling that story right. Because I know what I am. Like they understand.
You got to position yourself to have that level of self-confidence.
Yeah.
To be able to move throughout. And you got to have something to hold on to, because tough times are going to come.
Yes.
And you don't want to just continue on and on and on to doubt yourself.
And you're going to get those counter messages. Right. It's going to happen. People are going to doubt you. You're going to fall into some stereotype group. Yep. Everybody on the planet is going to fall into some stereotype group, right?
And some people are going to see that as some level of arrogance. I just say, you be confident in you.
Yeah, I don't know though, because when you put on that right bow tie, the cadence in your walk, it's a little bit more than just self-confidence. But
there's a couple outfits that I put on now that I just when
You know, when you look at yourself in that outfit, huh?
If I got to put on the suit, there's one thing to put on the sport coat and a different pair of pants,
or just the shirt and the slacks.
There's another level of swag when the suit and the bow tie come on.
What if the suit is a 3-piece? You got the jacket and the vest.
I rock a vest with. Now with the vest in there.
The world ain't ready.
Because they're looking at you different at that point right there.
You should see how he sat up in this chair.
You gotta be able to wake up in the morning and feel something about you. Like, I'm gonna tackle this day.
Yeah.
I don't care what gets in front of me. I'm gonna tackle this day. And baby, if you got to dress up to do that, hey, put your best on. I don't
fake it till you make it.
If it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you dress like it's Sunday and you're going up in that church. I say you get clean all the time. Okay. And see, people look at me like, why he always wear a bow tie? Well, you know what? The elders around the YMCA. They say, young fella, you look good.
I think they do too much with you.
For me,
they do too much.
I take it all in. So
I know.
105 degrees, Keith Vinson got on.
First of all, I've seen you come in to that building when the seniors are all sitting and mulling around the lobby. When you hit that door and you got to walk through the lobby, it's like you on a Paris runway.
Well, I
was like, is he seriously walking like he's in a Milan fashion show?
They poured into me with compliments like that makes me come in and want to work, dress the way I do,
better.
Work in a way and just to be better at everything that I do. And to me, I take that with me. I wake up expecting that from them, and when I get to work in this and they do it, it's like, man, that's just the encouragement that you need. I tell Brother Green, who's in the brand, I said, Brother Green, I'm just trying to be like you, but no, I'm trying to be. I said, nah, Brother Green, I'm trying to be able 9 o'clock in the morning that I don't have to get up unless I want to get up.
I'm trying to get to where you are. That's right. This whole idea of self-identity. Okay, so let's practice this. Let's see.
Okay, what you got?
What do you like about being Keith?
So I like being an African-American male.
Okay.
There's a certain level of swag that I think comes with that.
You think you got swag? Did somebody tell you that, or you think that?
You can't say that you have it, because that would counter something. Based on for those who are around me and those who may have seen the picture, when I walk in the branch in the morning, normally what I get met with is, "Hey, Bernie Mac."
Yes, you do.
Or I may get hit during the summertime by the kids. They say, "Hey, Mr. Bowtie."
Okay. So that reinforces to you that you have swag.
Because I don't. It's swag. You can call it what you want, but it's a place that people notice you.
Yeah.
And notice you on such a consistent basis that they've given you their special name for you.
Okay.
And I don't think. Yes, I think everybody should be called by their name. But it's a whole nother level when people give you that nickname.
Yeah.
That they, for some people, the grandmas maybe, "Hey, baby, hey, sugar." And it make you just feel a little.
You feel cozy.
Yeah.
You felt a little cozy. Yeah. You felt like brown sugar and cornbread or something. Yeah.
And so, cozy. Now the Bernie Mac thing had gone a little far, because I was in North Carolina one time. And I was just dropping in, and I just happened to go to the barbershop and get me a cut where don't nobody know me. I walked in, and man, the whole place stopped and said, "Man,
well, it's kind of eerie.
Like
it's kind of eerie, Keith. Yeah, I'm sure you probably took some people back. Like, what is going on here?"
And then I developed a little identity. You got a Bernie Mac sometimes.
Please don't steal that man's identity. Please don't do it. Please do not.
Mr. Mac is not here with us.
Yes, please don't.
He provided a whole lot of laughs for us, but then you got to put yourself in that place that people, I think, can look at you. And it's not a matter of caring what other people think about you. I think there's a place for that, but only at a certain level.
Yeah.
But you can't live off of being somebody else. You can only be you.
That is so very true. You can only live outside yourself.
Be the best,
for a finite
you
period
can be.
of time. Yeah, I agree. All right. What else? What else you like about being?
I think I like being an African American, because there's some things that come along with that, some assumptions And one assumption is that you can dance.
Well, go and tell the truth to the people right now.
I get them.
Because that is an assumption.
I get a little pass, but boy,
for you.
If you want to see something fearful come out, you try to pull me to a dance floor. And
it's like trying to throw a cat in a tub. It's a terrible. Now, while you sitting down, you look like you should be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes. I see you, Keith.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you get a pass. So
you get a pass because you can dance sitting down but not standing up.
No. Because you get the pass because there's assumption that you can do it.
Oh, because you're African American.
Okay,
so you take that.
All right.
But it's patently untrue.
Well, I practice.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. But the thing I like about being Keith is that there's a level of confidence of that there's nothing out there that I can't achieve. And for the bumps and hurdles that get in your way along the way, I take it all in, and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and ain't nothing you man can do about it. You don't control my fate.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, if you want to fire me, but you know what? That was just in God's timing and what you want to do. If you want to promote me, well, that wasn't you. That was just what God wanted for me. I mean, so that's for Keith.
Right.
And so that's a level of confidence that I move with each day. And I've been able to be fortunate to wake up in the morning and do something that I would do anyway, even if I didn't get paid.
Right.
And so it's like, how do you develop that level of comfort within yourself each and every day that you get up? Yes, there's going to be stuff that happens.
Yeah.
But you're going to face those things and you're going to be able to move forward. I'm not saying that the world is perfect.
Right.
But you got to know you and be confident in you.
In you and in your abilities. And, I have to give you credit. I will give you credit that, many people say, tell me the truth or give it to me straight or whatever the case may be. And so, when I hear that from you, I was like, I'm going to test the theory. I'm going to see. And I give you honest to goodness, uncut feedback about stuff. Probably most everything. I mean, but not a lot because I'm very easy to get along with. With all this heavy breathing, However, I will say that because you are so anchored in your self-identity and not in a braggadocious or, larger than life kind of way, you really are good at accepting feedback, right? And discerning whether this is something like, yep, I probably could have done much better at that. I hear you, I accept that. Or, nah, that's a character value of mine. It's a non-negotiable. I get it that you may be rubbed by that, or I get it that you may not understand that, but I'm not willing to change that or give that up. And not in a in a harsh way, like, I don't care what you say, I'm not changing. So I got to give you that, Keith, that I see it play out regularly for you, how having a really anchored self-identity helps you navigate, right, through difficult situations. Man, good job, Keith.
When we think about this self-identity and it's like, how do you, build towards that? I mean, there's a lot of things that fall in play, from an intellectual side of things, we're all entitled to our own ideas.
Yes.
We don't have to buy into everyone else's ideas.
Although my ideas generally are better than your ideas. But
we're all entitled to our own ideas and our own thoughts. And so for that, I can't take that statement away from you.
You sure? And I'm not giving it to you. So there's that.
If I believe it or not, that's a whole other. No. But please know that you are entitled to your own ideas and opinions and belief and your philosophy of life. Those are your things. And so with that belief in mind, you don't have to always go around convincing people to believe what you believe or agree with what you. Yeah. Be anchored in yourself.
Yeah. And you can still have very robust, very fulfilled relationships with people who don't believe everything you believe.
We two fully grown adults.
Yes.
As being an adult, we should be able to
disagree on some things.
Right.
We have different value sets as long as we're not disrespectful. right? As long as we don't get into exchanges or situations where we're going to hold your value sets higher than my value sets, right? It is what it is. People have different lived experiences. They think differently.
You're entitled to your own feelings, your own reactions as well. And because I'm not going to react the same way you do. And I am a pretty even keel guy. I like to trip and we have fun and laugh and everything. But from an emotional standpoint, I don't ride the roller coaster. I'm pretty even keel. And sometimes I get looked at as like, well, you just don't care. Well, why I don't care? Because of the way I respond.
Because you didn't boohoo cry? Yeah. You should probably cry sometimes.
No, I'm a crier now. But I'm a pretty specific crier though.
What is a specific crier?
Because what gets to my core, which is my family.
Got you.
Like that one right there, that's the tip of the scale.
I have seen a couple of baby girl stories come through, and I was like, is he glassy-eyed right now? Is this happening?
No, let's move on to
baby girl. Baby girl will have you misty. Nose start running, start sniffing in the background.
Oh, now stop.
Got him. He does have emotions. There's the kryptonite. Baby girl.
And then as you're thinking about that self-identity, you got to put yourself in a space, though, to make sure it's one of comfort for you. Like, even though if you don't have all the money in the world, you're not living in the grand mansion that you dream about, you know what? Whatever space that you're in, whether that's at home, whether that's at work, like, own the space that you're in and make that yours and protect that. I mean, and that is yours. And so, a lot of people, again, want to, I don't live in the best place, but you know what? That's yours.
And it's best for you. It's fine.
That's yours.
Stop comparing.
I don't drive, my car ain't, that's okay.
Does it get you from point A to point B?
This is what I say. When people come around, if you want my house to look different, well, you're welcome to pay me all the money in the world to get it fixed. I ain't got no problem.
I will acquiesce.
Come on. Don't give me no check even.
Wait a minute. They can't even give you a check. It got to be a cash.
Money or
Cash App or Venmo me.
Cash App. It better because that goes right to the bank account. Right. So, your physical space that you in, hey, that's yours. Own it. And take care of it. I think
you're onto something here. So many times a person's self-identity is wrapped up in them comparing themselves to other people. And I'm definitely, I am, that is me right there. Like, I'm like, okay, am I moving fast enough in my career? Because the people who started at the same time as me or were doing the same thing when I was doing that, now they're onto this, but I'm still here, or vice versa. Or, I see a picture of how something looks and then it doesn't necessarily look like that on me. And I'm like, well, why didn't it look like that? Whole comparison thing? That'll take you out. That'll take you out. You just got to learn to run your own race.
Yeah. And do it your way. That's what Frank Sinatra said. And I didn't.
Oh gosh! You were a preacher a minute ago. Now you're Frank Sinatra. Wow.
Ain't nothing wrong with little Frank. I like little Frank.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little Frank.
Say, you got to do it your way.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna go down guns a-blazing with what you want to do, and in the fashion that you. And as we talked about, you said earlier, you said a key word is to respect.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're living, as long as you're doing things in a respectful manner, whether that's you and someone else going back and forth on something. You're in the office with your supervisor and they may be coming be respectful and keep that even keel spirit like that. And
but have the conversation, right? Respect doesn't mean not having the hard conversations. Right. It just means the way, like the elder tell you, now what you do is how you do it. Right. Go. Sometimes you just gotta work on how you do those things.
I used to tell my sons that, dude, you can say whatever you want. If you want to say, Dad, I'm mad at you, like, okay, that's fine. There's a manner in how you say that so that we can continue on the conversation. Because I give you the freedom to say what you want. You have the space. I was never the parent that, because I said so.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried to say yes more than I said no from the way of how I answered the question. And because I wanted to try to create that freedom of conversation.
Right,
we can always have that right there.
Yeah.
And because we want to be able to grow young people up to be able to go and ask those additional questions, because so oftentimes we get challenged by the questions. Because people are threatened, like somebody's going to try to take their space or something. And it's like, no. I'm curious. I just want to know. Because, hey, I want to be in the seat that you're sitting in.
Right.
And that's the only way I know. I mean, I ask my supervisor still to this day, hey, man, I want to know how you guys did that spreadsheet right there, because I want to see how you put that together. I mean, but ask the different questions that you want to know. So self-identity and being self-aware is just really key as you're going throughout life, whether that's in the workplace, whether that's in your personal space, either way.
Yeah. And asking yourself regularly, right? What I like about being fill in the blank. Fill in the blank.
What I like about being a vice president.
What do you like about being a vice president?
I get to develop people. I get to advocate for people.
I thought it was you get to wear bow ties.
No, I wore bow ties as a teen outreach director.
Look, you fancy.
No, man. I mean, because I didn't have much coming up. And so I would say probably the identity got wrapped up into what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a businessman. And what I saw as a businessman is carrying a briefcase and wearing a tie.
Right.
And so when I came out, if days that I wasn't going up to the school or something, I was dressed up in a tie.
Did you carry a briefcase?
I did.
What was in this briefcase? You didn't have anything to go in the briefcase. What was in it?
Well, back then, we didn't have backpacks to put your laptops in. I think if I saw you, at that level because,
I would think you were trying to sell me insurance.
No. Because the school I went to, Liberty University, we had to wear ties every day.
Oh,
wow. So the thing became, instead of because backpacks wasn't, people were carrying them, but the briefcase meant that you were a businessman.
Oh, that's what
you looked. I knew what I was going to be, and so I started practicing college.
Was this in like 1904?
Hey, ain't nobody.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it alone. I ain't going to mess with your self-identity.
I already said briefcase. Some people listen to this right now. What's
a briefcase? What is that? Because I'm like, a briefcase? What is it?
Oh, you clearly don't start.
Don't you start either. Don't you even try it.
Yeah. Man, self-identity it is just really key. And when you're in that space right there, is, make sure you have your boundaries around you. Like, what are you firm? What do you hold on firm to? My number one in Strength Finders is belief. And it's not so much from the religious side. It's just belief, meaning the core things, your core values.
Yep.
And I'm pretty flexible. For me, easy going, and I can go, but like, these core things.
Yes, good gracious. You're unmovable.
We can't move. Now we can flex in a whole lot of things, but that's just the core. And like, are you grounded in that way that when that wind starts to blow, that you're just standing there and not moving along just because the wind is blowing to the left, to the right.
Okay, but can that be misconstrued as being rigid though? Because sometimes you do need to blow. That
can very much. But when we're talking about your value system, I think that part is a little bit different. There's some things that I hold true to. But yes, rigidness can come in belief.
Yeah.
But I think when you talk about your value, like I'm not going to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
In terms of your values, I think that those things are just core to who you are, and those things, they may not change. You may look at some things in a different way.
Yeah.
But to the core of whatever value that you put up, what you may be talking about, I think that stays solid.
Interesting.
And it creates a level of consistency in you. Like people know
that it does.
People know,
right? They don't feel like you're gonna change with the wind. Yeah. That's
who Keith is, or that's whoever is. They're consistent with that right there.
Yeah, that could be very reaffirming for someone who is trying to find their self-identity. Like, oh wow. I may not necessarily understand or agree, but I can appreciate the fact that consistently, right? No matter which way things are trending, Keith is going to show up that same way. That's his value set. That's what he believes. And I can do it too, right? Like if he can do it.
Well, you finish it. I like being
funny. I'm hilarious. Keith, don't act like that. Like you're trying really hard not to laugh right now. And I know.
Yes.
Because I'm funny. I am funny.
You funny.
Keith, I'm funny. Yeah. I like being funny. And I like being the one that's gonna crack up laugh because I'm gonna laugh.
Oh yeah. You laugh. I got you snorting one time. Got a coach.
Because stuff is just hilarious to me. And I like, I'm sure that in terms of what some people may perceive as executive presence or how a person in this kind of senior role in any organization is supposed to act, and they're supposed to be fairly stoic, and they're not supposed to be jokey and ha, laugh out loud. Well, if you're looking for that from me, you're not going to find it because I always got a joke and I'm always going to laugh. I like being funny.
So I don't know if you got a joke. I mean,
I got good jokes. I got good jokes. You ask anybody else. You ask the listeners. They can go ahead and online.
If I put you on the spot, you have one for me?
No, I'm a situational comic.
Situational comic.
I'm a situational comic.
You just made me
don't
laugh.
Tell jokes per se, but I elevate the funny ha things about life.
Okay. Ha. What else? I like being.
You know what? I never thought that I would say this. Here goes. I like being tall. I struggled for so long not wanting to be tall. I remember, in school where you have to line up and you have to go in size order. From day one kindergarten, I was always at the back of the line. So I never got to be the line leader.
When we look at the pitch, the elementary school pitch.
I'm taller than a teacher. Since like the second grade. I ain't never get to be the line leader.
No, you know what? Your comfort level of that right there is that you feel that outside of your home.
In my house, I don't feel that.
Right. Because you're always looking up. Everybody, you look up. Even your son, 15, 16?
He's 15. My baby boy's 15.
And you're looking up. You got to stand back.
I mean, not just like look my eyes up, like tilt my whole head.
Right. You got to stand back about 20 feet just so you can kind of look like he's out of eye.
Well, but that's just a very small, confined, contained area. For the rest of the world, I am tall and I love a good 4-inch heel. And I've always loved heels, but for years I would not wear heels because I was like, I'm already tall. And if I put on this heel, I'm going to be taller and people are going to think this and people are going to think that. And I'm like, I don't care. Look, this is the height I'm supposed to be. And I need these heels on because if I can't shrink one way, I'm going to stretch the other.
Well,
and so I like being tall, but I really had to grow into that. That was definitely not.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I did not appreciate that as a kid. I remember I was going to be a gymnast until the 6th grade. And I went to gymnastics. I finally got into a school that they had a little bit of gymnastics, used gymnastics equipment. So during gym time, I said, here it is. My Olympic run is going to start today. So I go running over to the uneven bars and I reach up to touch the top uneven bar and my feet are still on the ground. So the coach just looked at me like, well, maybe you should just go get on a double Dutch team, young lady. And that was the end of my Olympic career.
Oh, God.
I was like, wow. They were like, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
The girls, they're short. And I was like, no, why? And so that was the end of that. Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about being self-aware, though, it's that part of that, you got to admit some of your flaws.
Yeah.
And be confident.
And
it is, some of it is what it
is what it is.
Because we all have flaws.
I don't have very many. I don't.
Oh Lord.
I don't have very many. I don't.
Please don't come.
Maybe two. Maybe. One in a possible.
One is
perhaps.
Right there. What you're talking about. Wow. I apologize, Causenetic family.
Wow.
For that, because my co-host here, she feels that she's almost perfect.
Oh,
I'm not claiming that.
You just said a bunch of flaws.
I just said being self-aware and clearly We may have a little issue with self-awareness that's going on.
I don't think so, but
that we're
going to agree to disagree.
Yes, because we are two fully grown civil adults.
One with a lot of flaws, that would be you, and one with very, very, very few.
Hey, I am. Yeah. I am perfectly imperfect.
Yes, y'all. That is true.
Hey, look, Causenetic family, what fill in the blank for yourself. I like being, and say that to yourself.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever that may be. Yeah. Maybe that's your daily affirmation when you wake up in the morning. I like being, and you fill in the blank from there. In those tough times, I like being.
I like being a woman that you're very rarely going to see with the same hair.
Yeah.
I'm her.
Yeah.
She's me.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
She. I'm her. Yeah.
I'm just the one I'm gonna have the same fro.
You are. For well, unless it falls out.
Yeah. Well,
which is possible.
Well, it's holding in there so far.
It's in there.
I probably won't add. Over time. I thought about it. I've been looking at some. I've been looking at some people like, yeah, brother.
It's time to let go.
Because you can sew that stuff in there pretty good nowadays. So I might.
Which means you've investigated.
Yeah.
You've looked at it.
Well, of course. Who hasn't?
What do you mean, of course? You're looking at hair replacement?
Why not? You just look at the commercials and you be thinking and wondering sometimes.
Because you're
like, could I do that? Now, wow. I am Keith Vinson and I like my fro.
You know what? Don't let me find out you did that.
Hey, look. Causenetic family, fill in the blank for yourself. I like being.
And I like being the person who really appreciates that you all listen to us on this episode and gets to thank you for listening to Causenetic.
Yeah, on this episode called I Like
Being, and fill in the blank.
There you go.
Subscribe and listen to us weekly.
And don't be shy, give us a 5-star review.
And as always,
be dynamic,
be phenomenal,
and be Causenetic.